I need you. Earlier tonight, Hayden's apartment was assaulted by some persons unknown to me. He seemed frightened, terrified even, and instructed me to escape.
Hayden's missing? Well, it's one way to sour my night. I already saw you got his little rom with you, so I'll give you the benefit of the doubt for now.
Really rather you not be involved at all, but I know that isn't going to happen at this point.
Hey guys, Lucky Ojo here. We are finally on part 10 of 2064 Read-Only Memories. Whoa, have things escalated, right? So, we just finished the media arc. And, I mean, basically, Turing was just like, yo, we're done. Like, we have no leads anymore. Everyone that was involved in this investigation is dead. So, we're done. So, basically, we're going to head off into our other lead, which is the Flower Cybernetics. So, it's a new day. And we're just going to go to the Flower Mansion and see what we can do with our new lead. Yeah. Something wrong? What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was wool gathering.
Interesting metaphor.
I see we've arrived at the Melody Flores residence. It's quite impressive.
It does look pretty.
But that's to be expected, considering that she is still the majority owner of the Flower Cybernetics Group, despite retiring from day-to-day operations at the company.
Still collecting
I
those
wonder
paychecks.
how she and Hayden first began working together.
That is a good question.
Sorry. Back on task.
All right.
Is there anything you'd like to know before we head inside?
Yeah, give me a rundown of Flower Cybernetics.
Flower Cybernetics was established in the early 2000s by Melody's mother, Antonella.
Okay.
It started out developing cutting-edge medical tech, including advanced prosthesis and nanoparticle diagnostic and treatment technologies.
Very cool. And those are like real stuff. Nanoparticle diagnostic, that's a real thing.
They were vastly successful when they perfected the first synthetic nerve mesh, allowing direct connection and control between the nervous system and a cybernetic prosthesis.
Huh.
The majority of their early projects were defense technologies for the American military, developing ruggedized military prosthesis for use on injured soldiers, and then eventually electively for special forces.
Electively. That's interesting.
This research line culminated in the development of brain-controlled androids as shock troops, long since barred by international law.
Alright.
Melody took over the company from her aging mother, and she fought against developing further military hardware from that point on. She pushed the company to use the BCA technology for the company's original goals of medical advancement, as well as developing the first direct link virtual reality implants.
Interesting.
The company is largely successful on a global scale, despite continued legislative movement against extensive cybernetic use, especially brain implants.
Alright. What do you know about Melody?
Not a whole lot. She's largely private, in contrast to her mother's penchant for courting a media circus. Several biographies of former Flower executives show her as intensely passionate about demilitarizing the company to the point of absolute viciousness in the boardroom. But it's been a long time since her days of fighting for the company, and she's since stepped away from the helm. There's talk that she's lost her spine in her old age, but... well, I'd take that with a grain of salt.
Yep, alright.
She may have retreated from the corporate battlefield, but you don't change the entire direction of a company as large as Flower if you're a quitter.
Very true.
stay on your toes.
Yeah, so... Yeah, didn't Vantnik, or Yannick, and, say that he and Melody had a falling out?
He did, and I can't shine much light on that. I know that System 1 worked with Flower to help develop the first operating systems for the direct link virtual reality implants, so perhaps it happened during that time. Also, Flower eventually went with a different company for future models of the implant, but there was never any public talk of a personal falling out between the heads of the companies. I'll scrape the mesh for more rumors, but they'll only be that, rumors.
Alright, Turing.
I can do my best to parse fact from fiction, but it blurs too much for me to be sure what's real.
Alright, let's go ahead and head in.
No time like the present, then.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, it's a bear. Small-scale bear statues guard the entrance to the mansion. Oh, that was a lion, but apparently that's a bear. Let's use the doorbell. Oh my god, it's a bear. Hi, is Melody home?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yep.
Mine says we can go in. Should we?
Maybe wait. Maybe look at the window? Oh. Windows line the front of the house broadcast the hints of an expertly designed den inside. Mansion door. Can we look at the mansion door? The door of the Grand Mansion is open. How did the bear even turn the door handle? That is also a great question. Can we talk to the doorbell? Can't use the speaker without ringing the bell. Okay. Let's ring the doorbell again.
The door's open. No need to ring the bell.
Okay. I guess it doesn't really give us an option anymore than to enter the door. In we go.
Oh, wow. Swanky.
Swanky. Okay.
What? I have been trying to increase my usage of colloquialisms.
Interesting.
Is swanky too out of date?
Nah, you good.
It's certainly before my time.
Fair enough.
Oh, Ms. Flores! Excuse us for the intrusion. My name is Turing, and...
Oh, I know who you are.
Ooh.
I can explain. I know you don't like Dr. Fairlight very much, but I assure you there's a situation.
Yep.
Fairlight. I didn't realize Hayden's research had become a charity case.
Ooh.
Though I suppose little boy Yannick will throw money at anything that raises his profile on the mesh.
Interesting.
Wait, you know Hayden? Also, we actually only just met Dr. Fairlight yesterday.
Oh, that's too bad. Now Pat won't have to eat you.
I'm assuming Pat is the bear.
What?
Though I'm not sure your gears would have been good for his digestion.
Actually, madam, I'm not comprised of gears.
Well, either way, he's on a diet.
I don't know what's going on
This
anymore.
philosophy is how I lead my life. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear, well, he eats you.
Okay.
Do you understand?
I mean, I get the metaphor.
Really?
Look, I don't have all day to entertain you, Turing, nor your new friend. Not even for Hayden. You don't have time to waste if you're going to find him, either.
Right.
Okay. So, first off, let's look at this cat. Most regal-looking robotic cat in the world sits prim and proper on the fainting chair. Looks remarkably bored at all attempts at conversation. Can we talk to Pat? So, Gerd and stuff? Alright, fair enough. Let's look at the room control. Room control monitor is fixed to the back of the wall of the room. The temperature is set so low it's freezing, probably for the bear. Let's take a look at the ROM. Yep, it sits patiently near Pat in a sort of ambient sleep mood, playing light instrumental music. Okay, that's what's playing this music. And we talk to it. The ROM 51E units are designed to remain in sleep mode until reactivated only by its owner's voice. So we could go out the door in the back, but I don't think we're going to. Let's talk to Melody. I have a feeling this is not going to end well.
If you were one of Fairlight's worker bees, you wouldn't have made it through the door. So why are you here to badger me about poor Hayden?
You have me at a disadvantage, Ms. Flores. You seem far ahead of us on this matter.
Just call me Melody, darling. And of course. But I'll share a secret or two with you.
Okay, that's
I
polite.
have so many questions. Do you know what's happened to Hayden?
I wish I didn't. Maybe you don't want to either.
Please, Melody, any information you might have. We haven't had access to any of his research notes and couldn't track down any collaborators he may have been working with. Perhaps if we know more, we might be able to nail down a solid motive.
Well, I don't know if I can speculate on that, beyond the usual corporate infighting. Not that Paralax is known for that, of course. We had been catching up recently, and he mentioned feelings of being watched. He started to worry he had been discussing your development with the wrong people.
Okay, like who?
When he stopped returning my calls, and now that you've shown up with a total stranger, it becomes clear what happened.
I see. Can you tell us anything else about his disappearance?
Oh, I'm afraid not, dear. I've been around long enough to know what's coincidence and what isn't.
We were hoping you might be able to shine some light on my origins. Fairlight mentioned that you had worked with Hayden in the past.
I see Hayden didn't neglect curiosity in your personality makeup.
Interesting.
Well, you and I haven't properly met, but considering how often Hayden badgered me for design schematics of Flower's latest neural implants, I might as well be your aunt? We'll go with that. I wouldn't mind being an aunt, even to a blue-headed robot.
I'm touched, Melody.
Well then, I'm willing to answer your questions, for now.
Alright, so here we go. Let's start with just the facts. I don't care about the story between her and Fairlight. So, how did you help Hayden with Turing?
Indeed. I don't see the connection between your company and Hayden's research into machine sapience.
Oh, Hayden wasn't researching machine sapiens. At least not primarily.
Ooh.
Not to diminish the importance of your creation, Turing, but it's best you know the truth. Hayden is mainly interested in developing a way to transfer human consciousness into a machine matrix.
Oh. That
You can
changes
see
things.
why neural implants would obviously be an integral part of that.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Oh. This is about to get really sad for Turing, I think. So how would Turing's development help with digitizing the human mind?
The concept of transferring the human mind into a computer has been an attractive goal for decades. Functional immortality is powerful lure. The brain is an immensely complicated machine, and even though we know the right buttons to push to make pictures show up, we still can't replicate the entire thing as a technological construct. Even with the virtual reality implants, we're really just relying on the brain's ability to make sense of nonsensical signals. So Hayden decided the best way to make a machine more like the human brain would be to work in the opposite direction.
Interesting.
Instead of mimicking how the human brain worked, he started writing code that mimicked the functioning of the human mind. Think of it like convergent evolution. Two species adapt in similar ways, but on completely different continents. Hayden is a crack programmer when it comes to information collating. It's why Paralax hired him when they did. So he wrote a bunch of self-modifying learning algorithms that were, frankly, baffling and let them loose. Poke and prod them here and there to make sure they value the same things humans do. And we eventually end up with you, Turing.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll say.
Hayden never revealed any of this to me.
I imagine he's pretty tight-lipped. You were the first prototype he considered a real success, and he was afraid of contaminating your development before he had a chance to make good observations.
Okay. So can you elaborate on your involvement?
Phew, if you can even call it involvement. It's a small city, and if you're in the tech sector, you are never more than 2 degrees removed from anyone else. When he started looking into this pet project of his, he came right up to my door and demanded access to the research logs behind our earlier implants. Cheeky, but it was impactful and disruptive, as they like to say around here.
Yeah.
I couldn't care less about Flowers' patents anymore, so I gave him what he wanted, just to see what he would do. I'm frankly more impressed than I expected I would be, but don't tell him that.
I don't think we will.
Don't worry. I won't.
Oh, that was a compliment, dear.
Alright, so Hayden wasn't invested in Turing's development?
I didn't say that. Hayden was quite interested in Turing, even if he is just a step to further research. In fact, he was preparing to publish his findings involving Turing, and I know it's going to make one heck of a splash in the scientific community.
Yeah.
See, the most impressive part about you, Turing, is that you're surprisingly stock.
I assure you, Melody, my construction involves only the latest and greatest in ROM prototype technology.
Ugh. You might find that you're not.
Exactly. You're not off the shelf, but you're still just a souped-up ROM, more or less like every other one out there.
Ooh. She's starting to offend him, I think.
Your personality algorithms are impressive, but they don't require some new space-age technology to work. Hayden is going to propose that human consciousness transference does not require special brain-like hardware architecture, but merely the right software wrapper to interface with the hardware. Much like how you function.
Oh, man.
I suppose that is correct. Still, my personality matrices do take up substantial amounts of my processing power. Wouldn't custom hardware have capabilities that better serve such a demanding specialized task?
Sure, there's still plenty of reason in trying to make a computer that works just like a human brain. Efficiency is an important part of that. But if Hayden can emulate the human mind in existing technology, it means we can start the immortality now, rather than waiting for hardware to catch up with Hayden's software.
Oh, snap.
Frankly, I'm not terribly interested in living forever. But there's more than enough people who are.
Yeah, Fairchild, or Fairlight.
Thank you for this, Melody. I understand so little of my origins.
Well, I'm sorry I don't know more of the specifics. Hayden kept me up to date on his progress, but only in the vaguest of ways. If you can hunt down his notes, I'm sure they'll tell you more.
So, I mean, I'm super paranoid to begin with, so I don't really trust anybody, but I'm led to trust her a little bit more because she didn't ask for the notes, right? So, like, Tomcat, they asked for the data cache, right? Like, Fairlight always asking for us to find stuff. Like, Melody, just, oh, if you find the notes, you'll probably find the answer. Just good luck.
Of course. We'll keep looking. Now, perhaps we could ask some other questions?
Sure.
Right, so now this is where it's going to get rough. What's the story between you and Fairlight?
Oh, hell, that old bastard and I have been flashing daggers at each other for the better part of 20 years. I contracted out the software development for our first-gen direct-link VR neural implants to System 1.
Okay.
Things were going great, but after the first models sold like gangbusters, Yannick tried to get into bed with me. Literally.
Whoa.
I turned him down. Very politely, I might add. And then, suddenly, all of the cooperation between our companies dried up. We've been at it back and forth ever since. I'd be damned careful about trusting him if I were you. He's a snake, and he'll do anything he can to get what he wants. Still, I suppose if he tried again now, I might not turn him down.
Whoa. So, one, you thirsty girl. Two, that was a view that's worth remembering. Against Fairlight, she straight up called him a snake. So if we're to believe her, which I don't know if I do yet or not, because she's kind of a snake in and of herself, but like, I kind of want to believe her because she's been pretty frank with us, and I don't think she has any motive. But then again, she might be. Like, Fairlight sent us to her, so that might be part of the deal, too. So this might all just be part of Fairlight's thing. So, like, that being said, she says, don't trust Fairlight.
It would be fun to needle him about me still having my own company when he doesn't have his.
Alright, that's about everything.
Good. I can get back to my retirement.
Thank you for your time, Melody. We'll be in touch later.
Oh, one more piece of information for you, if you'd like it.
Always.
I've got the contact info for a Vincent Mensa. who I think might be of help to you.
Is he a genius?
Vincent was working more closely with Hayden inside Paralax, mostly on his company-approved research on data collating algorithms for the mesh. I'll send him a message and ask him to meet you somewhere. He owes me a favor anyway, and might be able to give you some more information on anything else Hayden may have been working on.
All right.
That would be fantastic, Melody. Perhaps Golden Gate Park?
Why would you suggest the place? That's interesting.
Be careful, Turing. I don't like Fairlight's stench all over this scenario. Don't show him too many of your cards.
I've been saying that from the moment I met him. But you are one of the cards that he showed us.
Cards? This euphemism is unfamiliar to me.
You're such a child.
Don't tell him anything if you can. Fairlight is more dangerous the more he's informed.
Thank you, Aunt Melody. Wish us luck.
Yeah, I still think Tomcat's involved. But that is interesting. What's on this monitor? I keep looking up here. Media Blitz. It goes over the sordid details of a new teen actor's island love affair with a local politician's daughter. Oh, that's what I thought there were two T-Rexes knocking each other over. Like, watch, you see they're talking, and then, like, I guess those are people kissing and then falling over. But like, I thought those were like two T-Rexes fighting. That's really funny, actually. All right, let's bounce. We'll just leave their door open because we're a bunch of jerks. To the map. Golden Gate Park. Oh, there's somebody there. There's a dude. We'll just go by here. Someone... Is that graffiti everywhere? Because it looks like graffiti. Looks like some older kids with got their artistic expression out on the poor police ROM. Yep. Doodle. A chalk doodle of police ROM that some kids drew. Alright. Alfie. Oh, there's Alfie hiding back there. Who's that little guy? I didn't want the tree. Can we use Alfie? You reach out your hand, but they duck their head lower. Alfie's still scared. We kind of destroyed Alfie's code. Alright. So this is... You've never seen this person, and they appear to be waiting for somebody. Perhaps this is who you're supposed to meet. Yeah, but that's sketchy. Alright, so let's talk. And hopefully Turing doesn't go, "Hey, are you Mensa?" Like,
Can I help you? I don't really have time to talk. I'm waiting for someone.
Are you Vincent Mensa? We're here for a meeting on behalf of Melody Flores.
well, okay. So even if he wasn't, he could be like, "Yeah, that's me. Yeah, absolutely." Because we know nothing besides that guy's name.
You're Melody's people. Do you have everything that I asked for?
There must be some miscommunication. Melody said that you would be able to provide us with some information about Hayden Weber's projects within Paralax. He has gone missing, and any information we get may be useful.
Damn that old woman.
What?
We had a deal. She promised me, and I'm not giving up anything until I get what I need.
Oh,
I already
okay.
know Hayden is missing. Why else would I be willing to sell corporate secrets to Flower? This was my chance to get out of the city.
Okay.
Instead, she sends the two of you, hat in hand with nothing. I'm assuming you're Hayden's little pet AI?
Insulting, but accurate.
Look, I'm sorry to come off callous. I do want to help. Hayden was a colleague and a friend, and I want to know he's okay. But I also need help getting the hell out of Neo SF, and now. My info is my leverage, and it's not for free.
Alright.
I'll just have to find another buyer. Maybe after I make another deal, I'll be able to pass it to you.
Perhaps we could assist you? My friend here is a terrific journalist. Being skilled at hunting down people and information is part of the job.
Yep.
I don't know. Look, I need 100,000 credits, an untraceable car, and a fake passport for me and my wife, Francesca.
Alright, so this is what we need to do. Untraceable car, which is a little ridiculous. Fake passport, 2 fake passports. One for him, Vincent, Mensa, and Francesca. Presumably Mensa.
If you can get me all that, I'll give you anything you want. Hayden's research notes, what I know about Paralax, my company's security credentials, whatever.
Oh, snap.
If you're really sure journals can come up with that kind of stuff in one day.
Yeah, we might be able to do that. We've done some pretty
Might?
crazy stuff. You might answer some other questions first?
Dear God, I'm doomed.
Melody only gave us a rough sketch of what you need. The more you can tell us about the situation, the sooner we can fulfill your request.
Yeah.
Sure, as long as it isn't the juicy stuff.
Alright, so... what do you do for Parallax?
I'm the head applications engineer for their data analysis division. Or maybe was, is what I should be saying. If Hayden is the big brain who comes up with the math that runs the search algorithms, I'm the guy who figures out how to collect and apply the data that we get.
Okay.
We've worked pretty closely for years, but he's head and shoulders above me as far as theory goes. Hayden built a fully independent machine intelligence in his spare time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash myself here. I'm a good software engineer, probably one of the best. But machine intelligence? In a form factor like yours? Now that blows my mind.
Yeah.
We've got full immersion, virtual reality, yet most people would still call you science fiction.
If you say so.
Alright. So why are you so adamant about getting out of Neo SF?
Because Paralax is rotting from the inside out. Hayden going missing is the last straw, and it's a big-ass straw.
It's a big old straw.
There is... how do I put this without giving it away? There's a new project about to roll out, and it's going to change everything about how Paralax does their business worldwide. Since the launch of the MeshNet, we've had some board shakeups, and the people at the top are different from the ones who've previously run the company.
Okay.
The altruism the company displayed in the past is gone. They're harder, more ruthless, and more concerned with profits and power than ever before. Not just richest company in the valley power either. Real power. My guess? Paralax got rid of Hayden because he was about to do something that would get in the way of that. If they're willing to get rid of the brightest mind on their payroll, what's to stop them from getting rid of me? There's a half dozen people who could do my job. So I'm getting out before I accidentally step on the wrong person's toes and end up at the bottom of the bay.
Fair enough. Alright, do you know anything about Hayden's disappearance?
Nothing concrete. I probably wouldn't have noticed anything out of the ordinary. I mean, Hayden goes out for a couple days all the time, right? Conferences and guest teaching. He doesn't exactly share his itinerary with me.
Okay.
I tried asking around and no one will say anything. If he had jumped ship, went to a different company, it would be the talk of the week at the water coolers. Instead, dead silence. Thankfully, he allowed me to keep backups of most of his work, simply because I cross-referenced it so much. He didn't like having it all in one place anyway. Bring me what I asked for, and I'll tell you more.
Alright. Alright, thank you. We'll get those things for you.
Sure. I guess I can stick around here for a while. I need to make some calls anyway. If you do manage to get what I need, bring it here today and you'll get anything you want. Forwarding photos and info for the passports to Turing now. And I really hope you can do this.
Oh, that's the nicest thing you said to me so far.
I'd rather give it to you than some other corporation anyway. See you soon.
Alright.
I'm not quite sure where to get fake passports or an untraceable card. The only shady folks we know are those punks who vandalized Hayden's apartment.
Sounds like a place to start.
I doubt they could point us in the right direction, but a long shot is better than no shot. They might agree to help us in repayment for the damage done to the apartment. They seemed remorseful. We should check Market Street for them, in case they regularly hang out there.
Sure.
As for the rest, perhaps Dr. Fairlight or Melody could spot us the credits. That certainly is no small amount, but is unlikely to cause much consternation for either of them, assuming they are as dedicated to helping as they claim. Melody is assumably home as usual, and Fairlight did let us know he'd be at the hospital.
So it's which one do we trust, out of Melody or Fairlight?
We could ask either of them for assistance. Up to you to decide which would be a better course of action.
So, we've got a lot of places to go. I think... Let's talk... So let's go to Flower Mansion. I mean, so... I kind of think... I mean, she's going to be... I'm afraid to talk to her, kind of. But we'll save beforehand. Just to be safe here. In case this goes, like, super south. This will be what we call a slot 2 save here. Yep. Let's ring that doorbell. Hello, Mr. Bear.
Hello, Pat. Could we see Melody? I guess that means yes?
I will guess that means yes. Oh, man. Yep, I guess we can try it.
Turing, I'm not saying I don't like seeing your little pixelated face. You're certainly better company than most of the humans I have to deal with.
What's that
But I
mean?
am a busy woman, you know? Lots to do. Right, Pat? Traitor. Anyway, maybe we should space these little visits out a good bit further.
Fair enough.
Familiarity breeds contempt, after all.
That's really fun. I actually use that exact phrase today. Like, at work. That's really funny.
And I'm very good at contempt.
I'm sure you are.
I apologize, Aunt Melody. You've stated before that you like your peace and quiet, but we need your assistance.
Oh, we're running with the aunt thing, are we?
I mean, you said that.
Another woman would tell you not to butter her up, but oh, flattery will get you everywhere with me. All right, what do you need?
100,000 credits. Yeah, so Vincent needs help getting out of the city.
I can only imagine. If he's willing to turn coat on Parallax, I bet he feels like a mouse in a cat farm.
Oh, I'm sure. Thanks, Pat.
I know they don't actually farm cats, Pat. It was a metaphor.
I like Pat. He's one of my favorite characters so far.
Whatever, it was a simile then. I am not going to play semantics with you. Moving on. Tell me what the trouble is, and I'll try to conjure up a solution.
We can be mean. We can say, I'm glad you're willing to help us clean up your mess. But we're going to need to pay for the information.
Yes, Mr. Mensa says he needs 100,000 credits before he's willing to speak openly. He also said that you already promised it to him, and that he won't be able to get out of the city without it. He'll give us the information once we have that, plus a few other things I'm certain we can get on our own.
What? You can't even scrape together that kind of money?
Do I look like a
Your
rich dude?
friend's not much of a journalist, eh, Turing?
According to the statistics that I have found, it is unlikely that a journalist of any caliber less than the best would have that amount of liquid assets on hand. The pay for the profession just isn't that high, Aunt Melody.
Oh, I see. I guess it's one of those jobs people do because they get free review merchandise, eh?
I mean, yeah, I got those headphones, man. They're wicked. So we have, like, every choice we do is very poor here. We say, I'm right here, haha, or I could always sell Ninja Assassin androids instead. Which she's the one that stopped her company from doing that. So that would really piss her off. I'm not going to be upset with her, so I'll say haha.
I can get you the money, Turing, but only because you're family. Just give Pat a few minutes to gather it. Yeah, just keep moving, you big brute. While we wait, is there anything else you want to grill me over?
Ooh.
Might as well save us both another visit.
Alright. So maybe we'll let Turing do the talking.
I do. It's a little personal, though. I'd understand if you didn't feel like answering.
Just shoot, Turing. I can take it.
Long ago, you lost your mother. I was wondering, how did you deal with it? Hayden's only been gone for a few days, and I already feel like my circuits are going to lock up for good.
Oh, Turing, I'm not the right person to ask. I hated my mother. She's everything I thought wrong in the world, and when she was gone, I felt nothing but relief that I could start undoing the damage she did. Never mind the fact I had to watch her waste away from the cancer. Death was a blessing for us both. Besides, you'll find Hayden soon. Keep your chin up.
Wonder if she knows more than she's letting on.
No. Blast it! Enough with this subterfuge! We already know Hayden was killed.
Oh, no.
I won't be getting him back.
I'm sorry, Turing. I still don't know what to tell you. I've lost people, but never anyone close enough to wound me. I don't know that I've ever had anyone close enough to do that. If you feel like talking about it, I'm willing to listen.
Wow. That's actually, like, she really warmed up, actually. I'm really glad we came back to her. Like, I actually feel much better about it. Like, I actually have a much better opinion on her.
Or make Pat do it anyway.
Thank you. I don't know.
Stick it out. Time heals all wounds. Or so they say. This too shall pass.
You got any more? Let's ask how smart Pat is, really.
Smarter than I give him credit for, that's for sure. It's not the easiest thing in the world to measure, you know?
True.
He doesn't process language in the same way humans do, and even if he can understand me, My translation program just guesses at what he says most of the time.
Oh, you have a translator running from your neural implant.
That explains a lot.
Yes, I'm cheating. Though, honestly, even without it, I have a pretty good idea of what he means most of the time. We've been together for a while now. Considering it only really works on large, typically predatory mammals, we don't have a lot of test subjects. It's a minefield of ethical concerns beyond just being prohibitively expensive. So Pat is a bear apart, at least until we can figure out how to apply the modified neural pathways without frying the brains of 90% of the subjects. The tech we developed is good. It just has a damned high mortality rate. Maybe one day there will be a bunch of talking tigers and dolphins building cities in the sea, but for now, we're stuck with creating beasts out of our own species.
So I'm afraid to say this one, but it seems we're a little sad that you're all alone except for a bear.
Being alone is easier, and Pat isn't such bad company. I mean, what do you want me to do? Cry about never having a husband, a few kids, and a white picket fence? I had a company to run, and my mother's legacy to fix. What's to say some spawn of mine wouldn't do the exact same thing to my flower, just the other way around?
That is very true.
This branch of the Flores line will do well without any more knives being inserted in backs. Thank you very much.
She has a very strong sense of justice, I'll say that.
You have that much enmity for your mother?
Have you seen what she did to North Korea? It's a wasteland of death and destruction. If we had kept going down the path she charted, the whole world would be like that.
The information on the mesh does seem to paint a grim picture.
Grim barely scratches the surface. I've been there. At least under the Kims it was barely functional. Now, my mother's monsters have ripped every last resemblance of humanity from the land.
Wow.
They stalk the night like horrific creatures of legend, keeping the populace in line through constant fear. A horror story straight out of the pages of Bram Stoker. That's her legacy. So I can't imagine I'd be a very good mother, just from the example I have to work with. That's life. I don't have any more regrets than anyone else my age does. My legacy will speak for itself, as my mother's did.
True. Alright, we're short on time.
Oh, just in time then. Take the cash and get moving.
Yep, thanks, Melanie.
I can finally get back to whatever it was I was doing before you burst in here.
Thank you, Aunt Melody. Your help has been invaluable to us.
Yeah, you're actually awesome, dude.
Yes, brown nose later. You've got things to do too.
Indeed we do. Alright, so we'll leave there.
I did not think I would feel such a strong resonance with Melody. We're connected by the barest of threads, but she is already important to me.
She's your family, dude.
Is that strange?
No. There are stranger things.
I guess there's nothing to do but run with it. Some gifts are too valuable to look at too closely, lest they vanish into thin air, and I already have a penchant for overanalyzing things.
That is true.
Let's get moving.
Yep, let's go, little buddy.
We still have things to do before we can meet back up with Mr. Mensa.
Alright. So let's save here, because this is already becoming a pretty long episode. So we are going to have to... save. And our normal slot 1 save, because that actually went way better than I'd hoped. We are now in a spot where we need to get an untraceable car, which will be probably the hardest next thing. Fake passports, I don't foresee being that difficult, unless there's some like weird passport laws in the future here. So we need 2 fake passports and a untraceable car, and then we'll be ready. And we'll be ready to see what Mensa has. Hopefully he has way better information than I think he has, because I feel like he doesn't have that much. So, but we'll see. Let me know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. As always, smack down the like button, and we'll see you next time.